First off, I would like to say this video is going to be geared more towards do-it-yourselfers, but I would like to state that the best way, or I should say the only way necessary to figure out if you need a electrical panel upgrade would be to do the necessary load calculations. This will require a general knowledge of electricity, amperage, and construction. But since this is something most do-it-yourselfers aren't familiar with, including myself, I have a basic idea about load calculations, seen them done before and went through it with electricians, but don't really know how to do it, and I've never done one. So with that said, you can stop watching the video, call an electrician, and go from there. But I am going to point out a few more things that might require you to think about calling the electrician and getting started on changing the panel, or at least figure out if you need to. Now, first on the list would be if you have an older home with a 30 or 60 amp electrical panel. This is actually what you're looking at here, a 60 amp panel, and it's full. There's no more room to put any more breakers on here, and if you were going to do any additional work, put a room addition on, put a jacuzzi, something that might require 220 amps, or not 220 volts, I'm sorry, 40 amps, let's say, or 60 amps. Maybe you're going to put an electrical stove in. You're remodeling your kitchen. You're going to go from a gas to electric stove. This might require 2 large breakers, and you can see the breakers there for the air conditioner. There's 4 breakers on the top, and the one big honker in the center is the 40 amp. I believe there's 2 40 amps there. Any appliance upgrades, you're gonna add another refrigerator, maybe another freezer, something like this. And if you add the freezer, let's say I'm going to put it in my garage, but I don't want to call an electrician. I don't want to deal with this. Keep track of it. If the breaker keeps popping, then you might want to figure something else out. That's going to be your first clue if you overload a circuit, if you overload a electrical line that might have 4 to 7 electrical outlets on it, something like that. And it won't be hard to figure it out, because once the electrical outlet pops, you're going to not have power to a few other of the outlets on the line. And of course, you could always relate to plugging into another part of the electrical system instead of just that one line. I hope that makes sense. Panels, if you have panels with push buttons, which is what we're looking at here, push button breakers or glass fuses. I've heard a lot of electrical contractors refer to these things as junk. These right here I haven't had very many problems with, so I can say that these are okay, but whether or not this is a problem for others, I don't really know. Remember, these reason why you're going to upgrade the panel in the first place would be for safety. You don't want to burn your house down. Electrical fires start. Actually, my next door neighbor's mom in another state had a large portion of her house burned down because of an electrical fire. It was not due to the panel. It was due to the wires above that were feeding the house. But still gives you a general idea of how powerful electricity is, and of course safety. Last up on my list is if you're going to sell your house, some finance companies will require electrical panel upgrades, or they're not going to give the loan to the next people who occupy the house. So that's it for that. If you do end up upgrading the panel, let's say from a 100 to a 200 amp panel, the electrical wires coming from the service, the utilities, might need to be changed. So if they're overhead, then they might need to be changed out. That would probably be the easiest way to do it. If they're underground, I don't know what that really involves, but there's usually no charge to the property owner for that. but it is something to consider. And I from what I've gathered, most electrical panel upgrades run between $2,000 and $5,000, just to give you an idea there. So anyhow, I hope the video helps. If it does, hit the old thumbs up button, and it is off to the next video.